Hey, welcome to Inspiration Station, where we build a sanctuary for your creative spark together. I'm Karina Pardis, a composer, activist, chocoholic, and self-care mom. I'm so glad you're here. This is a place for you whenever you need encouragement or a reminder to believe in you. Today tackles one of the many energies we experience when we create: fear. What is it? How does it affect our creative spark? And what do we do about it? That is what we're going to get into today. Fear is a normal emotion we've all experienced. Remember, there are no good or bad emotions, only human emotions. So there's nothing wrong or bad about feeling fear. But it is important to know the impact that our emotions have on us. We talked a little bit about this last time, about creating a sacred space and how our emotional space is a big part of that. Sage Cohen, who is an author and writing guide, said, "Fear is neither good nor bad. It's simply an emotional weather vane that lets us know where we are meeting or anticipating challenge." Fear can be an important tool to let us know what is coming up. How are we engaging with the world around us? And then we can create a plan of action of what to do next so that we don't get caught up and stuck in that fear. The definition of fear is an unpleasant emotion caused by the belief that someone or something is dangerous, likely to cause pain or a threat. It does not feel good to be afraid, but it is caused by our belief that something harmful is going to happen. Our beliefs are so important. What are the stories that are happening in my brain? Why am I afraid? Stopping and stepping back can make a huge impact. Fear is very important to our survival and evolution. However, I do want to take a moment to mention that trauma affects our beliefs and how that impacts the way that we engage with our emotions. When you are afraid, your body is reacting as though you're running away from a bear. And then you get to a safe place and you're able to stop and breathe. And then that fear is able to go away, and we have so many other hormones and different neurotransmitters that are working and regulates our emotional state. When you have experienced trauma, it's like the bear has never left. And that's really important to say here so that we're not invalidating people's experiences or creating shoulds, the outside expectation that you should be okay, that you should not be afraid. And I just want you to know that whatever you're feeling is allowed. It's also not permanent. Emotions are not permanent. It doesn't stay. Fear will always prompt reaction. And so when we evaluate that reaction and learn how to replace it with proaction, then we are able to take the power back. We start doing that by defining and acknowledging, what is the fear? Is it a fear of success, which, yes, is a real and valid fear? Is it a fear of pain, of the unknown? Fear feeds on your beliefs and imaginations about these things. It feeds on feelings of impossibility, perfectionism, and the need to do everything perfect. And if I can't do it perfect, then I'm not going to do it, because what's the point? Hopefully, in a lot of our discussions together, we've been able to reduce that need to be perfect a lot. But I understand that it is a process. It's not a linear process at all. Fear feeds on lies. Sometimes they're the lies that we tell ourselves, and sometimes they're the lies that we hear from other people or from an industry or from the media and how it portrays different things. Truth-seeking is an important work. Fear also feeds on indecision, inaction, and waiting. So this is what I want to focus the most on, is that when we choose to act and do something, we are no longer feeding that fear. If we have feelings of unworthiness, what can I do to learn that I am worthy? Because you are. By nature of being human, you are worthy of love and belonging, no matter any other circumstance, choice, decision, anything. Taking action to learn about your beliefs and imaginations, what is in that unknown, and what do you want to believe, and what do you want to imagine. Any action that you take helps reduce fear. Mary Morrissey, who is a personal development coach and author of Building Your Field of Dreams, said, "Even though you may want to move forward in your life, you may have one foot on the brakes. In order to be free, we must learn how to let go." What are the brakes that you are clinging to, almost for dear life, while simultaneously trying to move forward? Let's talk about how to let go of the brakes. Step 1, define what are the brakes. Step 2, self-reflecting on, are you comparing? Are you comparing yourself to something? Are you comparing your work to something? Recognize that comparison does not help. It won't help you get better. It won't help you feel better. I often struggle with this a lot when I'm trying to listen to my friends' work and celebrate them, because I want to celebrate them so much. I'm so excited for the things that they're doing, but sometimes I have to step away when I notice that I am comparing what I am or am not doing to them, because that doesn't help me. It also doesn't help our friendship. It doesn't help me celebrate them any better. It hinders those things. So stepping away and then coming back to celebrate with them when I'm in a better space is something that I've had to learn how to do. Step number 3, outline your circle of control. You cannot control everything. That unknown, you can't always control all the different parts in the unknown. You cannot control what other people think about your work, but you can control what kind of work you choose to do and how you continue to grow and develop and learn. Step number 4, develop self-compassion. When you are feeling afraid, instead of saying, "Ugh, I shouldn't be afraid. This is stupid. What am I even afraid of?" Stop and replace judgment with curiosity and recognize, I'm feeling scared and that's really hard for me right now. And I'm worried that I won't be able to figure it out. Have enough love for yourself to know that you will be able to move through this. You have been able to get through everything that you've been faced with up to this point. Self-compassion really helps a lot. Self-compassion really helps a lot. It helps to almost give the fear a hug and let it know that it's going to be okay, so it doesn't have to be afraid. Step 5, gratitude. Being grateful for what you have is a wonderful action that counteracts the fear spiral. All of the what ifs and all of the doom predictions that we often create in our mind, in our beliefs and stories and imaginations, can be halted by stopping and being grateful for what is happening now. What do I have now? Because fear is all about imagining the future, and gratitude is all about being in the present moment. Step 6, visualize. When we are afraid, we are constantly visualizing the worst case scenario. So after we have defined the brakes and defined the fear and loved ourselves through it, then we can begin to visualize what we want to see instead. And this doesn't necessarily mean picturing the best case scenario, especially if you don't believe it, but it can just mean visualizing yourself surviving, visualizing yourself creating your next masterpiece, or hugging a friend. Something that I frequently visualize to help me when I'm feeling afraid is a waterfall. The water keeps flowing. That water is the creative power that I have in myself that will keep flowing. It doesn't stop. If the water is jammed, it's because of a dam that is removable. I might not know where the water's going to go. I might not know who's going to come and be a part of that. I might not know what I'm going to do next, but the creative flow doesn't stop, even when I'm afraid. That's something that helps me. Number 7, replace struggle with acceptance. Sometimes we take something that's hard and we grip it super tight and we just fight with it. That is a completely natural thing to do. There is power in stopping the struggle and accepting. That doesn't mean resigning yourself to the fact that everything's going to be terrible, but it does mean that we can acknowledge the situation that we are in as it is. The brutal facts with confidence that we will get through it. Last step, number 8, act. Like I said before, because fear feeds on inaction, when we act, we are able to counteract that fear. So taking all of these other steps, putting them all into action. Being grateful, that's an action. Self-compassionate is an action. Outlining your circle of control is an action. Visualizing is an action. And then you get to decide, what do I do next? I'm feeling afraid and I will still fill in the blank. What are you still going to do? Because you can do it. Trust your creative spark that it will keep shining. That spark and shine will create shadows. That's the nature of light. But you don't have to live in those shadows. The creative process is not about eliminating fear. That's also not a realistic goal. We can't really do that. But learning how to not be paralyzed or stopped by fear is something that is completely in your power. Neil Donald Walsh, who's an author and speaker, said, "Every human thought, word, or deed is based on fear or love. Fear is the energy which contracts, closes down, draws in, hides, hoards, harms. Love is the energy which expands, opens up, sends out, reveals, shares, heals. You have free choice about which of these to select." I believe that your fears are real. It's a real human thing. And I believe that you have the power to continue acting with your fear. I believe that you have everything that you need in order to start moving forward with love. Love for yourself, love for others, love for what you're creating. Like Neil said, love is what expands. It's an energy that expands to fill everything that we're doing. And I believe that as you allow yourself to feel what it is that you're feeling, as you find ways to act, that you will be able to find a way to move forward where you want to go, and you'll be able to find joy there, even in the midst of fear. I know that any time we create, fear will be there. It's trying to protect us. And we can say, "Thank you, fear. Thank you for trying to protect me. But this is my creativity. This is my power, and I don't need to be protected from it." Visualize the fear leaving. Ask it to walk out that door. I have many times visually in my mind created a black space, asked fear to leave, and kind of like the cartoons where the door opens and it's just a little bit of light and then it closes, and as soon as it closes, I picture light. I am allowed to live in the light. You are allowed to live in your light. Thank you so much for listening. I'm excited to talk to you again soon. Until then, stay creative. Here in this moment with human needs and growing dreams, there's so much out there in the world. Commercials and billboards are telling you just what to do and asking who you think you are. Which voice will you listen to when you